Have you ever wondered about the true cause of Cleopatra's death, the last pharaoh of Egypt? Cleopatra's tale is one woven from threads of power, wit, beauty, and of course mystery. She was the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt, and her reign marked the end of more than 2,000 years of pharaonic dynasties. Born into a world of political intrigue and upheaval, Cleopatra was more than just a beautiful monarch. She was a shrewd and cunning political strategist who steered her kingdom through turbulent times. She was known for her intelligence and charm, which she used to form alliances with powerful Roman leaders like Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. These alliances would shape the course of her life and ultimately her death. Cleopatra's death in 30 BCE is shrouded in mystery and speculation. The most widely accepted theory is that she committed suicide by allowing an asp, an Egyptian cobra, to bite her. This theory is fueled by the accounts of ancient historians such as Plutarch and Strabo. But was it really a venomous snake that ended the life of one of history's most iconic queens? Some scholars argue that the asp story may be a romanticized version of a more mundane truth. They propose that Cleopatra may have died from a self-administered cocktail of poisons. This theory is plausible, considering that Cleopatra was known to have an interest in toxicology. Others suggest that she was murdered, a theory that adds another layer of intrigue to her already captivating story. Despite numerous investigations and debates, the exact circumstances of Cleopatra's death remain a mystery. The lack of concrete evidence leaves room for endless speculation and fuels our fascination with her story. Whether it was a venomous snake bite, a lethal poison, or a sinister plot, the question of how Cleopatra met her end continues to captivate us. Cleopatra's death remains an enigma, wrapped in the shroud of ancient Egypt's grandeur. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of history, we might never fully uncover the truth, but in the attempt, we continue to keep the memory of this extraordinary woman alive. Where does Genghis Khan, the founder of the Mongol Empire, rest in eternal peace? Genghis Khan, born as Temujin, would go on to establish the largest contiguous land empire in world history. His vast domain stretched from Eastern Europe to the Sea of Japan, extending northward into Siberia, down into Southeast Asia, and across into the Middle East and India. His military strategies and political acumen reshaped the world and still echo in the annals of history. Yet for all his conquests and the indelible marks he left on history, the final resting place of Genghis Khan remains a mystery. According to historical accounts, he died in August of 1227. But where he was buried, no one knows. It's an enduring mystery that has intrigued historians and archaeologists for centuries. Legend has it that to keep the location secret, anyone who came across his funeral procession was killed. The slaves who built the tomb were also said to have been killed to keep the location a secret. There are also tales of a river being diverted over his grave to make it impossible to find. This has not deterred the curious and the brave from seeking it out. Expeditions have been launched, theories have been tested, and technology has been employed in the quest to find the tomb of Genghis Khan. Some believe it is in Mongolia, nestled in the embrace of the Khenti Mountains. Others suggest it could be in China or even Kazakhstan. But despite all the efforts, the tomb remains elusive. No definitive archaeological evidence of the tomb has been found. And so, the search continues. It's a quest that is about more than just finding a grave. It's about unraveling a historical mystery, about understanding a man who changed the world, and about connecting with a past that continues to shape the present. The final resting place of Genghis Khan remains one of history's most tantalizing unsolved mysteries. Did Anastasia Romanov, the youngest daughter of the last Russian Tsar, escape her family's tragic fate? This question has intrigued historians and mystery enthusiasts for over a century. The Romanov family, once the imperial rulers of Russia, met a grim end in the summer of 1918, when they were brutally executed by Bolshevik revolutionaries. Among them was Anastasia, the youngest daughter, a lively and spirited girl, known for her charm and vivaciousness. However, amidst the chaos and the confusion that followed their execution, a rumor began to circulate. A whisper of a possibility that Anastasia had managed to escape, that she had somehow survived the brutal onslaught. This speculation was fueled by several women who came forward in the following years, claiming to be the lost Duchess. The most famous of these claimants was a woman named Anna Anderson, who surfaced in the 1920s in Berlin. She bore a striking resemblance to Anastasia and seemed to carry with her memories only a Romanov could possess. Despite her convincing story, many were skeptical, and her claim was contested for decades. In the late 1990s, with the advent of advanced DNA testing, a definitive answer seemed within reach. The remains of the Romanov family were exhumed and tested. The results were startling. The bodies of two of the Romanov children were missing, one of them a daughter. Could it have been Anastasia? The mystery deepened until 2007, when a second grave was discovered near the first. DNA testing confirmed that the remains were indeed those of the two missing Romanov children, putting to rest the theory of Anastasia's escape. Yet despite the scientific evidence, the allure of the lost Duchess refuses to fade. The story of Anastasia, the possibility of her escape, continues to captivate the imagination. The young girl who might have slipped through the clutches of death and lived on under a different name, in a different world. The fate of Anastasia Romanov continues to captivate historians and mystery enthusiasts alike. Who truly wrote the works attributed to William Shakespeare? That's a question that has intrigued scholars and history buffs alike for centuries. William Shakespeare, the renowned playwright from Stratford-upon-Avon, has an impressive body of work to his name. His plays and sonnets have left an indelible mark on literature and continue to be celebrated worldwide. But what if I told you that there's a theory suggesting that Shakespeare might not have been the true author of these works? Yes, you heard it right. This is known as the Shakespeare authorship question. It's a theory that questions whether Shakespeare, the man from Stratford, was indeed the author of the works attributed to him. This theory suggests that the real author could have been someone else, someone of a higher social standing or education who used Shakespeare as a front. The reason behind this theory? There are gaps in our knowledge about Shakespeare's personal life, education, and experiences, raising doubts about his ability to write such profound and detailed works. Plus, there are discrepancies in the spellings of his name and the lack of manuscripts in his own handwriting. So who are the potential alternative authors? The list is long and includes some notable figures such as Sir Francis Bacon, a philosopher, statesman, and contemporary of Shakespeare; Christopher Marlowe, a playwright who mysteriously died around the time Shakespeare's first works appeared; and even Queen Elizabeth I, under the theory that she wrote the plays and sonnets to express views she couldn't as the reigning monarch. While these theories might seem fascinating, it's worth noting that mainstream scholars largely dismiss them, citing a lack of hard evidence. They argue that these theories are based on conjecture and a misunderstanding of Elizabethan times. Regardless of where you stand on this issue, one thing is certain. The true authorship of Shakespeare's works remains one of literature's most intriguing puzzles. What circumstances led to the untimely death of Edgar Allan Poe, the master of macabre literature? This question has puzzled scholars and fans alike for nearly 2 centuries. Known for his chilling tales of mystery and the macabre, Poe's own death seems to have been lifted straight from the pages of his dark narratives. On October 3, 1849, Poe was found in a delirious state on the streets of Baltimore. He was wearing clothes that weren't his own, incapable of coherent speech and unable to explain how he had come to be in such a dire condition. He was promptly taken to a hospital where he died 4 days later. The circumstances leading up to his discovery and the cause of his death remain shrouded in enigma. Many theories have been proposed to explain what happened. Some suggest that Poe fell victim to a deadly disease, such as tuberculosis or cholera. Others believe that he succumbed to alcohol poisoning, a plausible theory given Poe's well-documented struggles with alcoholism. However, the fact that Poe's medical records and death certificate have been lost to history makes it impossible to confirm these theories definitively. Another theory proposes that Poe was the victim of a violent crime. This theory is supported by the fact that Poe was found in clothing not his own, suggesting that he may have been robbed and left for dead. Yet another theory suggests that Poe was the victim of a political attack, forced to drink and vote multiple times in a practice known as couping. Regardless of the truth, one thing is clear. The mystery of Poe's death only serves to enhance the allure of his dark and captivating tales. His stories continue to captivate readers with their haunting themes and enduring explorations of the human psyche. The mystery of Poe's death adds another layer of intrigue to his haunting literary legacy. His life, much like his works, remains an enigma that continues to fascinate us to this day. Whether we will ever uncover the truth about his death is a mystery in itself, one that only adds to the enduring allure of Edgar Allan Poe. What happened to Amelia Earhart during her attempt to circumnavigate the globe? This question has puzzled historians, aviation enthusiasts, and the general public alike for almost a century. Amelia Earhart, born in 1897, was a pioneering aviator, a woman of grit and determination who defied societal expectations and broke records in the male-dominated world of aviation. She was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, a feat that earned her international recognition and admiration. However, Earhart's ambition didn't stop there. In 1937, she embarked on the most daring adventure of her life, an attempt to fly around the world. With her navigator Fred Noonan, Earhart set off in her Lockheed Electra aircraft from Miami, Florida. The journey was to cover approximately 29,000 miles, with numerous stops along the way for refueling and maintenance. But Earhart and Noonan never completed their journey. On July 2nd, they took off from Lae, New Guinea, aiming for Howland Island, a tiny piece of land in the Pacific Ocean. But they never arrived. Despite extensive search efforts led by the U.S. Navy and Coast Guard, no trace of Earhart, Noonan, or their aircraft was ever found. Over the years, numerous theories have emerged about what might have happened. Some suggest they ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean. Others theorize they landed on an uninhabited island and lived out their days as castaways. Some even suggest espionage and capture by hostile forces. But despite extensive investigations and explorations, no conclusive evidence has ever been found. Amelia Earhart's disappearance remains one of aviation history's most enduring mysteries. Her story, a blend of courage, ambition, and enigma, continues to captivate us. It serves as a poignant reminder of the risks and unknowns that come with venturing into uncharted territories, whether they be across the ocean or into the skies. How did Grigory Rasputin, a Siberian peasant, become a central figure in the Russian royal court? This question takes us to the heart of one of history's most enigmatic figures. Born in the late 19th century, Rasputin rose from obscurity to become an influential mystic and spiritual advisor to Tsar Nicholas II and his wife, Tsarina Alexandra. His role in the royal court was a controversial one, owing largely to his unconventional lifestyle and the rumors that swirled around him. His reputation was one of a scandalous debauchee, a man who indulged in excess and lived by his own rules. Yet his charisma and alleged healing powers won him favor with the Tsarina, who believed he could cure her son's hemophilia. Rasputin's influence over the royal family, coupled with his disregard for social norms, attracted a lot of resentment, leading to multiple attempts on his life. The most famous of these took place in December of 1916. A group of nobles, fearing Rasputin's control over the Tsarina, conspired to kill him. According to the lore, Rasputin survived poison, multiple gunshot wounds, and even a beating, before finally succumbing to hypothermia after being thrown into the icy Neva River. But was Rasputin really the dark and manipulative figure he's often portrayed as? Or was he simply a misunderstood spiritualist, caught up in the tumultuous politics of his time? And how did he survive the numerous attempts on his life? Was it his resilience, his spiritual powers, or mere luck? The truth is, we may never know. Despite countless studies and investigations, Rasputin remains an enigma. His life and death are steeped in myth, anecdote, and conjecture, making it difficult to separate fact from fiction. Rasputin's life and death are shrouded in myths and mysteries that continue to perplex historians. His story, much like the man himself, is a fascinating blend of the mundane and the extraordinary, forever captivating those who delve into the annals of history. What secrets does the Voic Manuscript, an ancient book with an undeciphered script, hold? Let's dive into this enigma. The Voic Manuscript is a curious historical artifact, filled to the brim with bizarre illustrations of unknown plants, astronomical diagrams, and what seems to be an alien language. This centuries-old book, named after Wilfrid Voynich, the Polish book dealer who purchased it in the early 20th century, has puzzled scholars, linguists, and code breakers for years. Despite the best efforts of some of the world's brightest minds, the manuscript's script remains undeciphered, its author unknown, and its purpose a mystery. Is it a lost language, an elaborate hoax, or a coded message waiting for the right key? Theories abound, but concrete answers are elusive. The Voic Manuscript, a cryptic link to our past, continues to baffle scholars and codebreakers alike. It's a tantalizing puzzle, a reminder of the mysteries that history still holds.